3 minutes. That's all it took to go from quiet suburb to full-blown chaos. 3 minutes ago, my neighbor was dying, and an HOA president with more ego than empathy was blocking the damn ambulance. 3 minutes later, I was landing a rescue helicopter on her pristine little golf course, and let me tell you the look on her face, worth every decibel of rotor noise. I'm Jake Dalton, medevac pilot veteran guy who just wanted a cold beer after a long shift. Instead, I ended up fighting for a woman's life while dodging HOA nonsense straight out of a bad comedy sketch. I'd just gotten home after 14 brutal hours, 3 medevacs, 2 trauma flights, and a crash scene that still smelled like burnt plastic. My body was fried, but my lawnmower decided it was the perfect time to give up the ghost. So there I was, elbow deep in grease when I heard it thump, then this faint cry. The kind that makes your gut clench before your brain catches up. Miriam Brooks, my neighbor. She's a retired heart surgeon in her 70s. Tough as nails, but this wasn't a loose bookshelf. I ran over, knocked nothing. I saw her through the window, collapsed on the floor, one hand on her chest. I didn't think I acted. Smashed a window, climbed in, checked vitals. She was fading fast. I called 911, gave details, and held her hand while I waited. The dispatcher said 12 minutes. But 12 minutes feels like a lifetime when someone's gasping for air. Then I remembered the gate. Our HOA Sycamore Ridge locks down at 10 p.m., and it was already past 11. The ambulance wouldn't get in. I ran out to see if I could beat them to the entrance, and that's when she appeared, Ruthie Whitmore, our self-declared queen, HOA president. She showed up like she'd been summoned, heels clicking, remote in hand. I told her what was happening, begged her to open the gate, and she said, and I quote, "The handbook forbids vehicle noise past 10 p.m. Mr. Dalton, Section 14C. I stood there blinking at her, thinking, is this real life? But yeah, it was. She even pulled out her phone and started recording me saying I was harassing her. Meanwhile, I could hear the sirens getting closer and then stopping at the locked gate. She called security not to help, but to report an unauthorized vehicle. That was it for me. I ran back to Miriam's place, scooped her up, and started carrying her 400 yards in cold rain to the back gate. My legs were screaming, but I didn't stop. We met the paramedics halfway, and they worked on her right there in the rain. Her heart stopped just for a bit, but they brought her back. Barely. Next morning, a letter showed up. HOA violations. 4 of them. $3,000 fine. Signed by Ruthie. Apparently, I'd broken and entered, disturbed the peace, intimidated a board member, and my favorite, set a dangerous precedent for emergency exceptions. Now I've seen war zones, but this was personal. So I started digging. And it didn't take long to find a pattern. 5 families had mysteriously moved out after run-ins with the HOA. Every one of their homes bought below market price. And surprise, surprise, buyers were connected to board members. Hearing day came. Ruthie walked in like she was auditioning for a courtroom drama Navy blazer. Gavel the whole act. She played her edited clips, painted me as the villain. But then I spoke. I laid out everything. The blocked ambulance, the shady property sales, the power games. And that's when the real twist came. Her daughter Ellie walked in. Nobody expected her. Social worker. Cool-headed. She brought documents, bank transfers, fake fines, rerouted HOA emails. She stood there and said, "Mom, I begged you to stop." But now everyone sees. Ruthie's mask cracked. The neighbors, most of them quiet for years, started speaking up. Ruthie didn't resign. She retaliated. 2 days later, the entire neighborhood got an email from her claiming I was a predator. Twisted photos of me helping kids fix bikes, teaching drones, cropped and edited to look wrong. I got suspended from work. That hit me harder than anything in Afghanistan ever did. But then, Miriam, the woman I carried through the rain, she showed up. Brought me an old newspaper clipping from years ago. Picture of me beside a chopper after saving her grandson in a school bus crash. "He's a doctor now," she said. "Because of you. Don't let her take that away." So I didn't. I filed a flight plan, cleared it with the FAA. Monday morning I flew low over the neighborhood and landed right on the HOA golf course. Residents poured out. Phones were recording. Ruthie screamed about private property, but Officer Daniels was already there. I handed him Ruthie's email and the HOA violation letter. He just nodded. That live stream 50,000 views by sunset. Ruthie stepped down. Ellie took over with community backing. And now, every couple Sundays, when the skies are clear and my schedule allows, I land right back on that patch of grass. Legal approved and loud as hell. Because sometimes the only way to cut through the noise is with a little rotor wash. So let me ask you this. If someone you cared about was dying, and a locked gate, and a power-drunk neighbor stood in your way, what would you do? Would you break the rules? Would you land a chopper on a golf course? Let's talk about it in the comments. What would you have done? Where do you draw the line between order and humanity? I'll be reading every word.